A cloud lifter for your instruments? That's right, my friend, the classic microphone activator, now activating your bass, your guitar, your synths, but with a bunch of tricks under its sleeve. That's right, my friend. Today we have the CLOUDLIFTER CL-CI microphone and instrument activator by Cloud Microphones. Let's go check it out. I'm Jorge Lancesing now. We break it down, baby. There you go, my friend. Thank you so much for being here once again. And as you can tell, I'm pretty pumped about this one. If you've been a friend of the channel for a long time, I want to say that maybe like a year ago or so, I made this video about how to get a great clean guitar sound. And at that moment, I said in that video that I was using the IK Multimedia AXIO, basically just to use the preamps for my guitars. And the main reason was because they did have a variable impedance little knob. And by then, I already knew that CLOUDLIFTER was using a variable impedance for microphone. But at that point, I felt like my budget wasn't there to really like have a unit just to have like actual variable impedance.
I was actually just trying to get a preamp.
But ever since, the thought just stuck in my head. And after experimenting with that interface a lot and just like switching that variable impedance knob a lot and just hearing what it would do to my sound, made me think, imagine having a unit that is just doing this the best it can with zero restrictions, no cheap components, made in America. Then the other day, I see on the Cloud Microphones Instagram, which you should be following because if you're watching this video, it's in your best interest is to actually follow them because they make a bunch of giveaways, not only cloud lifters, but microphones. Anyway, I saw that they had like a post, and in the post, I saw a picture and I thought, wait, is there an I in that Z? My mind was blown and I was just like, I cannot believe that they actually did it for instruments now. And I just went to the comment section and I was just like, wow, this thing is like so good for bass and guitar players. They just don't know they need it. And 2 minutes later, I got a message saying, maybe you should show it to them. So yes, my friend Cloud Microphones sent me this unit for review, but no money exchange hands. They didn't even tell me what to say, what to do. There's no script. We're just literally audio people on the internet making connections. They have a great product that I really wanted to try for myself. And thankfully, they sent one so I can share it with you and show you why I'm really excited about this product. So anyway, let's stop the talking, get to the rocking, and check the CLOUDLIFTER. Let's go. So here we are, my friend, and this is the CLOUDLIFTER CL-Zi, and the C stands by impedance and I for instrument, because as you can see this big knob right here, it's a variable knob to change the impedance. So basically it's just a tone knob in your DI. And I'm going to show you why if you play bass or guitar, this might be a great addition to your setup. Let me know in the comment section if you play bass, if you play guitar, if you're a singer, or if you're a recording engineer. What kind of use would you have for a microphone activator, or in this case, an instrument activator? Let me know in the comment section down below. And remember, while you're there, like, subscribe, and do all those cool little things that we like to do on YouTube. And enjoy this little bossa nova, my friend. I hope your day keeps getting better and better and better. Right, let's go. So here we go. And I know I keep telling you about the instrument capabilities and this and that, but very important too is that this is still a cloud lifter for microphones. So let's start by checking it with the infamous SM7B by Shure. Using this microphone in countless occasions because it's like in every podcast. I have this supplement, you have to try it, it keeps me smart, it's the best thing ever. I'm in no way affiliated, but this is the best thing ever, you have to try it. Anyway, it's the podcaster's choice of microphone. For many reasons, but this is not a video about the microphone. Let's just hear how it sounds through the CLOUDLIFTER. Alright, my friend, this would be the right time for you to go get a great set of headphones, speakers, AirPods, whatever you feel comfortable listening to music, so that we can have a meaningful conversation in the comment section down below. Alright, let's go. And the first thing that we're gonna do, as we read in the unboxing video, and if you didn't watch it, it is gonna be linked at the end of the video, so don't worry about that. But what I was saying is that Cloud Microphones is telling you that you need to keep your volume all the way down in your preamp before you turn on the 48 phantom power for this, number one. So of course, this goes to your preamp. Like we were saying, this is an activator. And let me know if you want me to make a video exactly about how this works. Right now, I just want us to hear it. So very important, it does need phantom power. And very important it is that you turn the volume all the way down in your preamps before you turn that phantom power on. Just so that you don't risk like blowing up your headphones or your speakers or whatever, amplifiers, whatever it is that you have. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay, so first and foremost, let's plug in the microphone. Then with the preamp levels all the way down, let's turn on the phantom power. And as you can tell, I don't have the high pass filter engaged. It's just with all the bottom end. And I have it on minimum gain and in the very center of the variable impedance knob. So I'm going to start turning the volume up in our preamp. Okay, so now I turn the output all the way up in my preamp, which I never do because it sounds a little bit noisy and crunchy. But I thought that this was a great opportunity for me to show you the 3 levels of gain that this thing has. So let's hear it. Right now we have it in the minimum one. Let's turn it to more. And this is what happens. That switch feels so good. And now let's see what happens if we turn it to max. Hello, hello, hello. Oh man, now we're alive, right? Okay, so that sounds a lot better already, right? Let me see what happens if I back off my output a little bit and turn my input a little bit higher so that we can get a little bit more of the crunchiness of the preamp. Okay, output down, input up, 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 up. Now, okay, perfect. I feel like that's a sweet spot, right? It just sounds good. And I can hear my voice pretty nicely. I feel like we're in a very, very conservative levels in my preamp. Basically, my input gain, it's like, I don't know, maybe like at 11 o'clock. And my output is maybe like 1 o'clock. So definitely, I am not pushing it hard. And it just sounds rich. It sounds nice. I think like there's nothing bad about this sound, right? Let's hear a little bit of an A and B with this microphone really close like this, like any podcaster would have it in my regular microphone. Okay, this is me with this microphone, and this is me with the other microphone. This is me with this microphone, and this is me with the other one. Now, very interesting. I want us to hear this microphone with the same settings in my preamp, but without the cloud lifter. Just like plug in directly to the preamp. Let's hear how that sounds. Okay, and so now this would be without anything, without the cloud lifter. This is what we hear. Which is not really that too bad, right? But what happens if we actually put it to a level that we actually can hear it? Okay, so there you go. Now I hear the microphone at a pretty nice level, but as you can hear that, it's a lot more prevalent. I mean, I could already hear it with the cloud lifter, but you can hear how different the level is. Like in this noise, I can hear the noise almost like at the same level as I can hear my voice. I hear my voice a lot louder.
Let's hear that again.
Okay, now we're back with the cloud lifter. And see what I was talking about, the noise? I can hear my voice a little bit louder than I can hear the actual noise. And even if I talk a little bit quieter, like very quiet, I have to talk so quiet so you can still hear the noise. Let me see, I'm trying. And now let's hear what happens if I put my regular effects in my vocal. I cannot hear what it sounds because I'm just hearing the raw sound that I'm hearing with the directed from the cloud lifter. But there you go. Let's try a different microphone just for fun. And in theory, since the cloud lifter is not passing the 48 volt power to the microphone, I should be able to unplug it with no problem. Let's see. Nah, nebs. Okay, my friend, and this is a totally different microphone. I actually never used this microphone ever, just because it's so noisy. This is literally the first time I'm hearing it without the noise, and it actually has like a nice quality to it, right? Like very different. Boom, let me pour all my effects, and this is how it sounds right now. I mean, I feel like this is a very nice sounding microphone. Like it's got a nice top end roll off. And more importantly, like I was saying, I really never use this microphone just because it's so noisy. This was a gift from my father-in-law. I think he just had it in his shed since like the 80s or something. And I'm really happy that now it's going to get to see another life. But very importantly, I want us to check this variable impedance knob. So now let's hear what it sounds like all the way to the left and all the way to the right. And let's just hear it. Okay, now I'm changing it all the way to the left and it just gets progressively lower volume and darker. A lot darker. I want to say almost like maybe lo-fi-ish, almost like compressed. It's a nice sound. It really is a nice sound. Okay, and other than that, let's start moving it to the right. Again, we start getting it at a lot more gain, but we start getting it a lot more top end too. Wow, right here, this setting sounds really present. Again, see what I was saying? A very dark microphone. Let's hear, this is where we started, right? It sounded a little bit dark, a little bit radial, a little bit like lo-fi-ish, right? And then all of a sudden we just bring hi-fi into our life by just moving this little variable impedance knob. To me, that is one of the big values of this box. And that's why I really appreciate like when we have variable impedances, because the sound varies so drastically. So having one microphone,
You have so many sounds.
Okay, and now let's try this high-pass filter. Okay, it's a very high-pass filter. Now let's start going down because the high-pass filter goes down with the knob right here. Yeah. Wow, that sound is so different right here compared to how it is right here. Wow, very impressive. But you know, since the level is a little bit different too, it's very complicated to actually judge it for what it is, right? But I want to say that for this microphone in particular, keeping it all the way up over here sounds really nice. I'm super curious to try the SM7B again. Let's try it out. Okay, back to this guy right here, and right now we're on our lowest setting right here. Let's turn it all the way up and see what happens. I mean, yeah, this microphone sounds a lot more hi-fi, right? But then, I don't know. I'm starting to miss a little bit of what I was getting from that guy. And then this one already has a low cut. So let me give it back. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. That you don't hear that huge difference because I already have a low cut here. Let me give the bass back to this guy. Okay, so now I took that low cut off and I think like now we can hear it a little bit better. Now let's try to do an A-B with the Cloudlifters cut in and out. Okay, this is an A-B with the Cloudlifters cut. So let's just hear it. Hello, 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 hello. Very, very, very gentle when we're hearing it with a vocal. But what happens if we switch to a bass? Okay, so now my friend, we're going to be using my P bass to hear what it sounds like. Okay, volume all the way up, and I'm on my neck pickup. Variable impedance knob all the way down. And now let's start turning it up and see what happens. Wait. First thing, I'm going to give it a little bit of juice. Let's hear how it sounds. I say a little bit of juice, but I turn it all the way up, right? That's how I like to do it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds good right there. Let's try to put it in the center. I mean, it's a lot more gain. Let's do all the way up. Definitely an activator. It is. It sounds like an active bass, right? Okay, let's turn this down all the way to the minimum. I want to say that other than just like the high frequency content that I can hear, more importantly than that, there's a lot of more transient response. Like just hear it right there. Like you can hear my fingers a lot more. So yeah, very aggressive. Now let's hear that high pass. Put it like in the center with the impedance knob. And now let's try the high pass filter. Now I just switched the pickup to my jazz bass kind of pickup. Okay, that's a nice DI sound. Let's hear how it sounds through an amp sim. Okay, so here we are in Amplitude 5, and I have this little rig that I did here in the channel. Let's hear it. It sounds a little bit overcooked, so let's try to turn this guy back to the center and hear how it sounds. And as you can tell, it's a pretty vintage sounding bass. Let's try to go all the way down and hear it how it sounds there. I feel like for this bass, definitely somewhere in the middle is where it sounds the best. Let's try to hear it around here. I mean, that sounded pretty good. Now let's hear it on the other side. Let's go back to that little test, just like droning the E. I feel like somewhere around here sounds the best. I mean, that to me sounds a little bit more natural, but still, this to me sounds like an active bass almost like every time I hear it. kind of want to say, like, I like that tone at 150. Let's see what happens if we give it a little bit more gain. This is where I feel like it's the best, in my opinion, for a bass. Maybe let's hear it here in the center. And then all the way to the right. Now let's compare that to my regular DI. So there you go. Let's hear it in a guitar now. Alrighty, now we're going to be using my Les Paul Studio so we can get a couple crunchy sounds. First, let's do a little bit of high gain. Yeah, there's something about this CLOUDLIFTER thing that it just makes me hear like the guitar is lower tuned that I'm used to. Let's hear what happens if we start tweaking this variable impedance knob. I mean, by the time we're here, it's just such a totally different sound, right? I mean, now that sounds really good, huh? Okay, but so now that we heard that, I want us to check the difference in tone that we can get with this thing, because we went from a super vintage sounding guitar I mean, it's so weird to hear this guitar sounding like this, going through a Mesa Boogie Duo Rec. Let's hear it in my regular DI so that you know what I'm saying. I mean, of course, the volume, it's incredible. So let's turn it down and see what happens. I mean, there's a big
difference.
That's sort of what I would have expected with this kind of amp and this kind of guitar. Let's see what happens if we go all the way down like here. I want to say that the effect that it has in the transient makes it feel like, for example, in that song, the beginning and the intro of it, it does have something very similar to that, right? It's also like a compressor on the front of the amp, right? It's just such a perfectly mellow sound, right? Very mellow. Let's see what happens if we turn it all the way up. All of a sudden, we started the era of like hyper definition. Let's try the other riff. I mean, that's a very big difference, right? And just remember, we're still on neck pickup. Let's go on the bridge and see what happens. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty nice tone for the bridge pickup. And even though it gets a lot brighter, it doesn't get strident, right? It's like still very nice and round tone. Now let's see what happens in the center of the impedance, which is what I thought sounded like the closer to what I'm remembering the Gibson sounding in just the regular DI. I can't believe how much I like that super muted tone. I don't know, it has some like very different sound than what I'm used to. I feel like the transformers are definitely doing their job. So there you go, my friend. The CLOUDLIFTER Zi-CL microphone and instrument activator. Let's go get a few conclusions. So there you go, my friend. What I consider to be the most useful DI in the market right now. I feel like especially in this day and age when we really have this huge hunger for character, and that our budgets are definitely limited, having in a box like this help us have one type of instrument and get a bunch of different sounds. And I feel like in the studio, it definitely is one of your best friends. As I was going through the sounds in the guitar, I couldn't stop but thinking about the stereo effect that usually we require when we're trying to get a really wide mix or like a very wide representation of a band. In a perfect world, you have two guitar players with different guitars, with different amplifiers, different microphone techniques, because each one of them has their own sound, right? But I want to say that case scenario where it used to be the norm back in the day, nowadays it feels to me like a dream. The last time I got budget to go in a studio and just like think about tones and just spend a couple days just getting great sounds and getting great tones was maybe in like 2017. Ever since, everything you have to just do it at home because people just hear the sounds that you're able to get and they're like, why am I gonna spend $2-3 grand a day in a studio when you can just take all this stuff at home and you can make it sound even better? I mean, even if I go to the studio and pay all that money, you're still gonna take it home and make it sound better. So for better or for worse, we keep getting cornered into this situation where we have to work with less and less tools. And in the very specific case of doubling guitar, when you cannot have that perfect case scenario, one of these things, it's amazing. Just think about it this way if you're a producer or a mixer. A lot of times to create a better stereo spread, all you need to do is like create a different kind of like EQ profile on the right that you have on the left. Well, basically, my friend, this is exactly what's happening right here, but instead of happening in the EQ level, which is just basically amplitude of frequencies, or just like little mixer of frequencies, right? That's what an EQ is. That's why when you see a graphic equalizer, it's sort of like the easier representation to understand what an EQ actually does. It's just basically volumes and frequencies. But in the case of the CLOUDLIFTER, you're not just getting a different EQ curve. you're getting different harmonic curve. You're getting a different harmonic structure. It just gets rearranged by the different resistance that you're using through the cable. So it's basically at the molecular level, you are actually creating
a different sound,
a different signal, being way more effective when you're trying to create that separation with one guitar alone. And not just that, I love to live in the world of headroom, where every time I need a little bit more, I can have more. And I love that this machine is taking a lot of the heat that you take from an instrument, for example. And if you're familiar with the lower end of interfaces, you know that when you plug your guitar, usually you're clipping even if the volume of your preamp is on 0. In my case, this machine fixes that for me because it's just basically already designed to give me the right level going into my converters. So where, for example, I used to have a pad in my preamps, when I use the CLOUDLIFTER, I can just take the pad off and just leave my preamp all the way open. And I wonder if that has to do with that sort of like perception of a smaller sound, a tighter sound, a more compact mid-range when I'm using my regular SSL for a DI compared to the CLOUDLIFTER. Overall, I feel like with the CLOUDLIFTER, the differences were bigger in the things that, for example, I thought didn't sound the best. And for me, the revelation of this video is this guy right here. Like I said, this was just a gift. It was just a microphone found in like a workshop, and it's just been laying around collecting dust for decades. And I remember when I plugged it for the first time in my SSL, I was just like, I guess it's not useful. I'm thankful that I got it as a gift, but I don't think I will ever use it. Boom. It just went into my closet. The second I got this activator, I knew I wanted to try this microphone, and boy, I really love the tone. I don't know if it's just because how foreign it is. It's just like definitely a sound that I'm not used to. And the second I heard it, I was just like, wow. This is just really cool. And I want to say that in the case of the microphones, the impedance does a huge difference. It is very easy for you to make up your mind and decide if you like it or not. In my case, I want to say that maybe the fact that this has like transformers in it, I really love the tone. One of my favorite preamps is a Neve, and I felt that my SSL definitely sounds nothing like a Neve. It's actually the polar opposite, I want to say, just like exactly trying to be everything that the Neve is not. And the second I put this thing on, I just felt like I was going through a Neve because I have a very vivid memory of going through an SN7B through a Neve. And that was exactly what I felt when I used both of them, the Electro Voice and the SN7B. As soon as they were going through this guy, it just had that little transformer sound, that rich vibe. I don't know, it was just really nice. And if you can watch this video again, watch and pay attention to those microphones, because I want to say that those were the ones that, in my opinion, stole the show. Anyway, my friend, that's enough about me. I want to hear about you in the comment section down below. And remember, while you're there, like, subscribe. If you can financially support me, smash that super thanks button right there. I thank you so much. And if you have some more time to watch another video with me, go watch this one right here, where is the unboxing of the CLOUDLIFTER. Right, my friend, I'll wait for you right there. See ya. Thank you so much for being here.